Hey guys, Waddler-D, we're back for more Quackshot starring Donald Duck, and we are pretty much on the last leg of our adventure. And, wow, this music's kind of interesting, honestly. Nevertheless, this is what I would say the Amazon, because this place just screams. And I definitely mean screams. Freaking unexplored territory, good place to hide out. Another condor scene where I have to dodge very close encounters of the flying kind, and pray to God that they don't drop beehives on me this time. But once you get past this section, the instant death threat is kind of disappearing. But we get greeted with one last enemy, some guy that's kind of reminding me of frickin' Sonic the Hedgehog in Green Hill Zone. But these guys are short-lived. These are pretty much the only time you'll be seeing them. However, falling snakes and collapsing bridges, that's a new thing. Just be careful here, because these guys, as you imagine, were in Miraja, where they were attached to snake charmers. Now they're by themselves, causing mayhem and panic. And how the hell does that zipline work, really? Oh wow, another minecart section. Just make sure to jump, or be ready to jump, because those two little drop-offs, I have actually died on them a few times, because they're just that sudden. But once you get that in your mind, you now have to get greeted with probably one of the worst sections in the game. Mainly due to the fact that these platforms are probably the worst thing imaginable. Just watch. Wow, I was on one platform, I somehow transferred to another. So what you need to do to give yourself a big fat favor is to jump when these platforms come together and try to guide yourself to land on one like that. Because that way you won't have to deal with the whole confusion that those platforms bring. I really don't know why there are water tanks out in the middle of nowhere, and what the hell is up with this room. I mean, you have hallways leading to a death pit, basically. I don't understand the concept of Pete's hideout. Like, is it supposed to be there for convenience, or is it really this much misshapen? Whatever. Pete, one thing you should need to really worry about is that some of these platforms are very finicky and like to do this thing called, I don't want to work for you. So if you're planning to make a jump that you were intending on, bye. Also, dash jump at the end. Don't want to go through all that, end up dying at the end. That's so aggravating. Now, this is definitely looking more like a hideout. I mean, the spikes on the wall might be a little gruesome, but yeah. This is definitely... Are you telling me... Are you serious? That loudspeaker was Pete the whole time? He was shooting a gun over the loudspeaker all this time? Well, that explains about 900 things right now, but... Oh god, no. No! No, they made the Ultra Grunt now? Oh shit. Yeah, luckily there's not a lot of these enemies, but those are probably the worst enemies in the game, because they are literally invincible. This is also the worst trap in the game. That little long downward shaft. You're probably thinking, okay, so I guess I have to go through this Pac-Man-like maze of extreme pain, but trust me, it beats an endless plummet to your death, because look, yeah, that's really cheap game. Thank you. This is probably where Lion King was born from. That frickin' death pit is so evil. I mean, it's literally just there to trick any unsuspecting player. However, this elevator shaft is definitely a little kinder. I mean, granted, you have 4 guys shooting at you, but these 4 guys are well equipped with chickens and popcorn shotgun shells, which you will definitely be making good use of sooner or later. Oh my god. This is why they probably gave you that shit. Hey, sup, buddy? I see that you have a plunger-proof vest on. This is not good. Oh, okay. That's cool. I think I'm going to do exactly just that. Okay, what the hell are you gonna bust out? Are you serious, Pete? A trash compactor. Oh, come on, man. You could have had something cool like a frickin' robot. But no, a trash compactor is what I have to fight. Whatever. So, yeah, Pete is armed to the teeth with smashing potential. But the one thing you really need to worry about is Pete is a huge frickin' hitbox of pain. So if you get trapped in a small-ass area, Pete is going to level your power bar. He's going to make that thing go from 3 to 0 in seconds. And not to mention you have these assholes, which possibly might be his elite grunts, because look how smart these guys are. You just saw that, right? He ducked my shot and responded with his own. That's really scary to know that these guys are well trained to dodge your shit and to deliver back with a tomato splattering your face. Nevertheless, Pete should not be too troubling. I mean, the only thing you really need to worry about is his big-ass hitbox and those guards shooting you from time to time. Once you get to the upper levels and stay up here, you start to realize Pete is kind of a dumbass, because he's just moving around all slowly. But the room can still pose some dangers, because it's really hard to see Pete, and that's pretty much most of the challenge when you're dealing with the man directly. The big-ass room hiding him from view, so until you jump straight into him, or fall on top of him, whichever works. And other than that, that's pretty much battle, guys. It's kind of a little disappointing that Pete doesn't have a better showing, because I remember back in, like, say, the Mickey games, oh my god, Pete was scary at times, like, freaking magical, that SNES game, just saying, guys. Now that we have the Viking Diary, we can now leave... What? What the hell? Oh, I think I know what's up. Use the diary. What? Am I reading that correctly? The map must be dipped in water. So you're telling me we did all this shit, and this is the truth? It's just dipping the map... Okay, what? That might explain something, why the game hasn't had any raining sections, because that would have spoiled the fun, and Donald would be looking at the map. Wait, what? What's this? Let's go here, kids. So we are now in the final area of the game, and wow, that's a little familiar. This is the island, and this is basically where the game kind of gets weird in terms of level design. I mean, they're throwing some similar shit to me, but it's different. However, this part can go straight to hell. This is the worst platforming section ever. All you have to do is just keep jumping and keeping yourself moving, because if you stay on those leaves for just a moment, you are dead. Oh, I love that blind jump at the end. Because, yeah, those leaves have a nice little trap with those pickups in the middle. Don't fall for it. Just keep jumping. Don't even bother. Because every time I tried taking those items, I would die. Now do yourself a favor and just keep holding right the entire time. Because A, you get all these money bags, and B, you're heading the right direction. So, bam, you win. Oh, I think I see what's up with this. Yep, quick platforming. I love it. I mean, usually a final area has to have some sort of crazy franticness, and this works. Aw, I kind of missed that music. Why did you have to give me boring fucking dungeon music, game, for the final area of the game? And of course these damn spears. Nevertheless, this area should pretty much throw the kitchen sink at you. This is where you get greeted with one last enemy, and these guys are very weak to popcorn. I guess maybe the butter is just too much for them, and they just get soggy and die. But these guys are pretty smart enemies, because you can't use bubblegum on them, you can't use your plungers, and they jump, which makes them very dangerous. And they apparently multiply. What the hell? Unfortunately, they have not migrated to the second level of this stage, so you can say goodbye to them after getting past them. However, it looks like this gimmick has been used way too much, because frickin' fireball circles on slopes are getting a little old. Oh, I guess they did make it to this level. Ow. Well, see you guys later. I doubt you figure out this next area. And yes, more fireballs. The jumping variety. And this is definitely a familiar little room, too. I guess Egypt and Duckburg Island had the same idea or something? Wait, is it just... I don't know if it's Duckburg Island. But this island, I'm convinced, Egypt and this island are related now. Because this same trap has to be here. I don't get it. Now, if you're thinking really hard, you might be able to figure out, well, I guess I could head to the left and that should lead me to a new area. Hell no. If anything, this is just another dead end. Like, literal dead end. So, if you got here, you've wasted a little bit of your time, I'm sorry. And probably a little bit of health, because this trap can just... This trap can be a little bit annoying, because a moving platform followed by a small vertical shaft that you have to go up can be kind of tricky. Especially trying to get your jump and hitting your head on the ceiling. That can happen more than a few times, so just try to make your shots count, and then just try to make sure you land on one of the plungers, because that way you can get up here and experience the next room. Which does look cool, but it sucks, because you have platforms that are visible, and the only way you can reveal them is much like what Indiana Jones did. I guess Donald has a bag of sand he is dropping all over the ground or something, I don't know. But basically you have to tempt these platforms to appearing for you, and then once you find them, you land on them, because if you fall to your death, obviously. Luckily, this isn't too long of a segment, or too complicated, so once you get to this doorway, you are greeted with the Guardian. And this guy is honestly really cool, but I am starting to get some heavy The Last Crusader vibes. I mean, the whole room before was pretty Last Crusader-ish, but this is just bringing on the full blunt of it. If the treasure is a holy grail, I'm going to be a little upset. Just a little. But there's 3 or 4 things that you need to know about this boss. When the boss is tossing his sword up and around like a juggling act, he's invincible. That's why he's flashing. So what you want to do is you want to wait for the boss to toss his sword up your way, and then apply plunger to the forehead, because that's the only way you're going to really defeat him. I really doubt you have any more popcorn shotgun shells at this point. Now, the second thing you should know is that the falling debris is proving to be very annoying, but there's one thing you should really count on to help you out. And this is this side of the room here. You see that this side has a bit more leverage than the other. There's like an extra tile of space. And that's what you'll probably need to dodge the falling debris, because that's the worst attack from this boss's repertoire. It's not the sword, it's not him, it's the falling fucking debris. Now, my suggestion of a strategy with this boss is to try to lure him to the left side, because there's a lot less space on the left side, and you want to get him as far away from the right side as you can, because that way you can have all the time in the world to deal with this. And another strategy is to shoot him and slide through him, because that way you don't have to go to the top upper level to get hit by possible debris. Because, like, as I mentioned before, when you hit somebody, they are stunned. So there's not much they can do about it except recovering from their hit stun animation. So, just revel in the fact that once you got to this guy, you pretty much have gotten yourself near the end of the game. But this guy takes a lot of hits. And when debris suddenly disappears out of nowhere, congratulate yourself. You just beat the game. Oh, who the hell's talking to me? Donald, you got somebody else over the intercom or something? What the hell? What the hell? Aw, man. What a frickin' bummer. Well, Donald, you're gonna have a lot of explaining to do. Uh-oh. Wow, Donald's displeasure is just so written all over his body right now. Yep. Here's great treasure. It's awesome. Wow, Daisy, you don't have much of an eye for artistic ability. Christ, this guy's been risking his life for you. And you're just like, really? Really, Donald? But luckily, Donald had an ace up his sleeve. He hid a gold and jewel necklace inside the statue. Thank God. So Daisy's not gonna kill him, and he got a very big kiss. Not to mention, he might be losing 5 years off his life with that animation. But this is Quackshot starring Donald Duck, and I have to say, this was a pretty good game to relive a little bit. I mean, honestly, it's not the greatest game I played, let alone the greatest Disney game. That would probably go to the first SNES game starring Mickey Mouse. That game is incredible. Not only is incredible, it is also fairly difficult. This game, I would say, is probably one of the best Disney games on the Genesis. So if you guys have the time and the curiosity, try to take a look into it, experience the life and times of Donald Duck, and enjoy this Super Mario World-like ending, where Donald visits all the places that he risked his life and limb at, excluding Pete's place, because he wants to go to hell back there. So, thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'm so glad I finally finished an LP for a change. Adios.